Pamelo's sight could be gone forever. He's just 3 years old. Kofanga screams for his mother. His eyes are so infected that he can't even see her. For so many children in the world's poorest countries, trachoma is torture. It's a painful infection often spread by flies, and it's destroying children's eyesight. But it could be stopped if you help today. By calling 0800 038 4926 and giving £1 a week to Sightsavers, you can help make sure children get the treatment they desperately need. You'll help us bring them the medicines and the care that can treat infections. And that means you'll be helping to save children from the torture of trachoma and a life of blindness. Please help us reach them. Call 0800 038 4926. Text C13 to 82727 or go online and give just £1 a week now. Because we need you to help save the sight of children like Nananga. We need you to help save them from the torture of trachoma.
Some people think life slows down in your 50s, but I'm just getting started. And I don't want my lot to have to worry about funeral costs. Let them spend their money on nicer things. So I decided to learn more about over 50s life insurance from Cover Today. They're the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period. Unlike other insurers who could make you wait up to 2 years, with Cover Today, you're fully covered from day one. And you're covered for the whole of your life. Unlike other things in life, the price never goes up. Go online or talk to their friendly UK team in just one phone call. Cover Today are the only over 50s life insurer with no waiting period and no annoying trips to the doctors either.
Plus, you get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Now I'm with Cover Today, I can get on with something much more interesting.
To get a free life insurance quote, call our friendly UK team on 0800 470 4474 or visit covertoday.co.uk.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to this Monday edition of the World Report. I'm Arjun, Samar, Mahendran. Let's take a look at what's making headline across the world. US President Donald Trump, in his latest post ahead of a meeting with Zelensky, has said President Zelensky of Ukraine can end this war with Russia almost immediately if he wants to, or he can continue to fight. Now, this comes as European leaders said they will join Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky when he meets US President Donald Trump at the White House on Monday. This comes as they navigate Trump's alignment with Russia's position on ending the war after meeting Vladimir Putin last Friday. Now, Trump backed the Russian president's preference for a sweeping peace deal rather than an immediate ceasefire, which analysts say would let Moscow extend its battlefield gains while also pressing for territorial concessions from Ukraine. However, Kyiv and its European allies see hope in Washington's proposal to in fact offer Ukraine security guarantees to deter future Russian aggression. For Putin, the talks are less about ending the current conflict and more about clawing back Russia's lost Cold War stature. Many argue that this is in fact the case. Meanwhile, listen into what Trump's envoy, special envoy rather, Steve Witkoff had to say.
I think the president supports a peace deal, Shannon, and he got through almost all of it in Alaska. I mean, I was personally surprised at the amount of wins that we had that day. It was right down the line. We agreed on much more robust security guarantees. The Russians agreed on enshrining legislatively language that would prevent them from, or that they would attest to not attempting to take any more land from Ukraine after a peace deal, where they would attest to not violating any European borders. So we got through quite a bit, and there's a whole lot more.
Let's talk about the security guarantees, because you mentioned those. What does that mean in practicality? What is the U.S. willing to commit to that effort to give Ukraine the assurances it needs to come to the table?
It means that the United States is potentially prepared to be able to give Article 5 security guarantees, but not from NATO, directly from the United States and other European countries. That is big. I mean, really big.
China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi is set to arrive in New Delhi a little later than 4 p.m. this afternoon for crucial talks with top leaders including PM Narendra Modi, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. My colleague Gauri unpacks the latest.
A lot of geopolitical realignments have actually happened. Likewise, the India-China relationship, the number of developments that have actually happened in the last couple of months has been very significant. Now, Chinese Foreign Minister is going to be in India on a 3-day visit. He will first and foremost be speaking to National Security Advisor. Remember, NSA Ajit Doval on our side and Wang Yi on the Chinese side are the two special representatives who will continue the border talks ever since the Galwan clash. This is going to be the 24th edition of the border talks that will continue to talk about the continued de-escalation as far as the line of actual control is concerned. Remember, this comes after the Galwan clash, where there have been talks that have made some progress. One also needs to keep in mind that the India-China relationship is complex and layered, multi-layered in fact. So even incremental progress should be viewed in that sense of the significance of it going forward. So this round of talks between Ajit Doval on Indian side and Wang Yi on the Chinese side will continue to focus on de-escalation as far as the border talks are concerned. That's one aspect of this. The second aspect of this visit also needs to be kept in mind, given the fact that the trade talks and several other diplomatic efforts have actually got a big fillip in the last couple of weeks. One can say Donald Trump had a great role to play, that he expedited this entire development. But things as they may be, because of external factors, trade and development talks have also gotten a fresh fillip. Now, resumption of flights is something that's a long-standing demand of the Chinese. Direct flights from India to China, that is likely to now be taken in terms of considering to finalize that. That could happen fairly soon. And it also comes ahead of some non-tariff barriers that China had imposed on India. Now, when you say non-tariff means that it could be in terms of ensuring there are an informal sort of a ban that may be put in place. Things may become tougher to be able to import. Those are called non-tariff barriers. Some of that India is seeing with regard to critical minerals, with regard to fertilizers, and that is also likely to then be taken into consideration in these talks. It comes just ahead of Prime Minister Modi's very important visit that will be at the SCO, and this lays the groundwork for that crucial meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping later this month in China.
We shift our focus to Ireland, where a 22-year-old Indian man was recently harassed with racist slurs and assaulted with a knife by 3 teenagers in Ireland. He is in fact now narrated the turn of events, or the sequence of events that in fact left him injured while returning home from his college. Speaking to NDTV, he also flagged a spate of recent anti-immigrant attacks targeting Indians, calling it unacceptable. Now, the man, who did not wish to be named or reveal his identity, said he had just deboarded the bus and was just about 300 to 350 meters from his doorstep when 3 teenagers emerged from an alley and surrounded him. Listen in to this sound clip.
I'd gone out to do a house viewing for a friend, and my battery ran out of charge. That's why I had to switch from taking a bus to taking a train, because I wasn't really sure of the bus route. That led to a slight delay, so the train took me to the city center. I headed to my college bus stop, and that's when I got on the bus. Everything was fine until then, nothing to worry about. 3 lads came out of this small alleyway, and they surrounded me. Before I could say or react to anything, the guy in the middle, he grabbed me by the collar, and what I presume is a blunt knife. He held it to my neck and started asking me for money. I told him that I don't carry loose cash. I have some spare change in my bag and my pockets, and they were more than welcome to take it. I repeatedly told them that they're welcome to check my pockets and the bag. In between this, there was a moment when he let go of my collar a little, and I used that opportunity to push him away. The kids, they're essentially kids. I would put them probably between the age of 16 to 19. I pushed them away, and a scuffle broke out, during which the main aggressor, he hit me a couple of times on my collarbone.
A club shooting in the New York City borough of Brooklyn early Sunday morning has left 3 people dead and 9 others wounded in a year of record-low gun violence in the city. Investigators, meanwhile, believe up to 4 shooters opened fire with multiple weapons at the Taste of the City lounge in Crown Heights area after a dispute just before 3:30 a.m. local time. Now, the violence appeared to be gang-related. New York Police Department Commissioner Jessica Tisch told reporters. Listen in.
Last night, we lost 3 New Yorkers and 9 more are in the hospital after a horrific act of gun violence at a nightclub in Crown Heights. Today, while, of course, we mourn the victims and pray for their families and their community, we are calling on the public. We need your help. We need your help. If you were inside the club, if you heard individuals talking about this shooting, if you witnessed someone fleeing the location, every piece of information would allow us to put the puzzle together to solve this crime. If you witnessed the event, or if you have information, please call Crime Stoppers, 800-577-TIPS, TIPS, 800-577-TIPS. Gun violence of this magnitude, it really scars a community and a city. But we will continue to fight to do everything that's possible to continue to take illegal guns off our street.
A semi-truck driver identified as Harjinder Singh has been arrested for vehicular homicide after an illegal U-turn on the Florida Turnpike led to a crash that resulted in the deaths of 3 people. Now, Harjinder has been living in the U.S. illegally since 2018. The horrifying video shows a car crashing into the semi-truck driver driven by Harjinder when he makes an illegal U-turn. Here's more. Shifting our focus to Pakistan, where the death toll from heavy monsoon floods and landslides has even continued to rise rapidly, with at least 307 people confirmed dead. Meanwhile, at least 74 others and their homes have been damaged while a rescue helicopter crashed during the operation, killing its 5 crew. Government forecasters, meanwhile, say heavy rainfall was expected until the 21st of August in the northwest, where several areas, in fact, have been declared disaster zones. Over in the Middle East, thousands of people marched in Tel Aviv ahead of a rally of what is known as Hostages Square. Now, they gathered in a call to reach a deal to release hostages. Now, the groups representing families of hostages organized this demonstration as frustration grows in Israel over plans for a new military offensive in some of Gaza's most populated areas, which many fear could further endanger the remaining hostages. 50 hostages remain in the enclave and 20 of them are still believed to be alive. Israeli police, meanwhile, blasted crowds with water cannons and made dozens of arrests on Sunday as thousands of protesters demanding a deal to free hostages in Gaza aim to shut down the country with a one-day strike that blocked roads and closed businesses as well. Over in Latin America, thousands took to the streets of Mexico City on Sunday to demand the country cut diplomatic relations with Israel amid the ongoing war in the Gaza Strip. Demonstrators marched through the city, beating drums and pans, as you see there on your screens, while waving flags and banners aloft and chanting in support of the Palestinians. For many of the protesters, they said the scenes that they have witnessed as the war continues in Gaza pushed them to the brink to come out and finally issue their demands to the Netanyahu government. The United States has stopped issuing visas for people from Gaza. It's a move that has raised alarm among charities and medical organizations alike. The State Department, meanwhile, said it would also carry out a full review of the procedures for granting medical humanitarian visas, which it described as a very limited category. Now, these visas have served as a lifeline, in fact, for seriously injured children from Gaza who were brought to the US for treatment that was otherwise unavailable. South Korea said Monday there were no immediate plans to suspend live wire training near the disputed maritime border with North Korea and Seoul, and Washington began annual joint military exercises. The North had earlier, in fact, warned the large-scale drills would deepen regional tensions and vowed to, in fact, respond to any provocation against its territory. Here's more.
우선 서북도서 해상 사격 훈련 중지에 대해서는 검토한 바는 없습니다. 접경 지역 훈련에 대해서는 제가 아는 바가 없고요. 한번 확인해 보겠습니다. 그리고 군사합의 관련해서 말씀하셨는데 지금 현재로서는 제가 구체적으로 드릴 말씀은 없고 국방부는 정부의 한반도 평화 구축 노력을 뒷받침하기 위해서 군사 대비 태세를 유지하는 가운데 실효적인 긴장 완화 조치들을 지속해 나가겠다는 말씀을 대신하겠습니다.
Bolivia's dark horse centrist Senator Rodrigo Paz addressed supporters on Sunday after early results showed he drew more votes than the right-wing frontrunners in the country's presidential runoff. Now, Paz's totals was not enough to secure an outright victory and would see him face off against right-wing former President Jorge Tuto Coruga. Bolivia will hold the second round, its first presidential runoff since its 1982 return to democracy on the 19th of October. We get you more.
No para ofender, sino nuestro proyecto es profundamente boliviano, de un proyecto para todos los bolivianos. Es un proyecto abierto, porque lo que queremos es construir la reconciliación de la patria, la producción de la patria. Queremos retomar la fuerza productiva. Necesitamos estabilizar, generar gobernabilidad, generar un cambio en la economía para que la economía sea de la gente y no del Estado.
New York Mayor Eric Adams has rebuked mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani's long-standing push to decriminalize prostitution. Now, he's questioning how somebody who calls himself religiously guided could ever support sex work. Adams said, and I'm quoting here, I can't believe I couldn't be more clear. I'm a man of God, just as Mamdani says he's a Muslim. I don't know where in his Quran it states that it's okay for a woman to be on the streets selling her body. His owner told reporters Sunday, I don't know what Quran he is reading. I'm not in my Bible, he added. Now, as a man who said he is of faith, I don't quite understand what religion supports prostitution. That's what New York City Mayor Eric Adams said on Mamdani's stance to, in fact, legitimize prostitution in New York City if he, in fact, wins the elections later this year. In the Far East, China has delivered the third of the 8 new advanced Angkor-class submarines to Pakistan as part of Beijing's efforts to upgrade Islamabad's naval strength to support its growing presence in the Indian Ocean in India's backyard. The second of the 8 submarines China is building for Pakistan was in fact handed over in March this year itself. This is in addition, of course, to the 4 modern naval frigates that China supplied to Pakistan in the last few years as part of its efforts to boost Islamabad's naval strength amid the Chinese Navy's steady expansion in the Arabian Sea, where it's in fact also developing the Gwadar port in Balochistan as well as in the Indian Ocean. A Hong Kong court began hearing final arguments Monday in the landmark national security trial of former pro-democracy newspaper founder Jimmy Lai, who could very well, by the way, be sentenced up to life in prison if he is convicted. Now, 77-year-old Lai was arrested in 2020 under a national security law imposed by Beijing following anti-government protest back in 2019. Now, he's being tried on charges of colluding with foreign forces to endanger national security and also conspiring with others to issue seditious publications. Lai founded Apple Daily, one of the local media outlets that was most critical against Hong Kong's government. The death toll from a flash flood that swept through a wild camping site in North China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region has risen to at least 10. with 2 people still missing, local emergency authorities said Sunday. Now, the disaster struck around 2200 hours or 10 p.m. on Saturday in the upper reaches of a river, Urad Rer Banner, near the Bayonar city, leaving 13 campers unaccounted for. By 7:20 on Sunday or 5:20 p.m. local time, 1 person had been rescued, 10 were confirmed dead, and 2 remained missing. Now, more than 700 rescuers, viewers, have been promptly dispatched to the site to search for the missing. Hurricane Erin weakened to a Category 3 hurricane on Sunday. Its outer bands lashing the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. As forecasters warned, the storm was rapidly growing in size and would in fact gain new strength as well. Now, while Erin's maximum winds diminished, its overall size grew, and forecasters in fact issued tropical storm warnings for the Turks and the Caicos Islands and also the southeast of Bahamas. The hurricane's outer bands were pelting parts of Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands with heavy rains and tropical storm winds during the day. Puerto Rico's governor, meanwhile, has said the hurricane did not make landfall on the island, but has warned of strong winds. Over in Europe, Spain is deploying a further 500 soldiers to battle wildfires that have torn through parched woodland during a prolonged spell of scorching weather. PM Pedro Sanchez said Sunday. Now, the decision to add to the more than 1,400 troops already on the wildfire duty came as authorities, in fact, are struggling to contain these blazes, especially in the northwestern Galicia region, and also they are awaiting the arrival of the promised aircraft reinforcements from other European countries. Firefighters, meanwhile, are tackling 12 major wildfires in Galicia, all of them near the city of Orense. Now, that's the head of the Galician regional government, Alfonso Rueda, told a press conference with Sanchez. It's time we step into a short break. There's much more on the other side. Don't you go anywhere.
Kelsey and Reese could part exchange their car. Or check out We Buy Any Car. They could be confused if they got a good deal part exchanging. Or have cash in the bank with more bargaining power to get their dream camper van. Bad vibes or good vibes only. To get a quote in 30 seconds, enter your reg number now at webuyanycar.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we found the reason why Britain hasn't been so great of late. It's because the country hasn't been eating enough Weetabix.
It makes sense. I've been eating croissants.
Me too. We should deliver Weetabix to where it's needed most, to whoever's in charge of fixing potholes. VAR.
Yes.
And drivers who park like this.
Yeah.
To Britain, we must say, have you had your Weetabix?
Welcome back. You're watching this Monday edition of the World Report. Now we take a look at the world of business, where S&P Global Ratings has upgraded the long-term issuer credit ratings of 10 Indian financial institutions, including 7 banks and 3 finance companies. The move comes after the agency raised India's sovereign rating to BBB/stable A/A2 from BBB positive A3. Now, this marks the first upgrade in 18 years. For perspective, the agency cited factors like strong growth momentum, effective inflation management, and structural reforms, such as the insolvency and bankruptcy code, for this decision. Samsung has commenced laptop manufacturing in India at its Greater Noida facility in Uttar Pradesh, expanding its production capabilities just beyond smartphones and tablets in the subcontinent. Now, this initiative follows the government's push for electronic self-reliance through the Make in India initiative. The company has already produced its first batch of laptops and plans further expansion. While Samsung is a significant player in the smartphone and tablet markets, it's yet to establish a strong presence in the competitive laptop segment dominated still by brands like HP, Dell, and even Apple. A judge on Monday fined Qantas Airways 90 million Australian dollars, or around 60 million American dollars, for illegally firing more than 1,800 ground staff at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the penalty is in addition to the 120 million Australian dollars, or 78 million American dollars in compensation that Australia's biggest airline had already agreed to pay to its former employees. Australian Federal Court Justice Michael Lee said the outsourcing of 1,820 baggage handlers and cleaner jobs at Australian airports in the late 2020 was the largest and most significant contravention of relevant Australian labour laws in the country.
It is the most significant industrial outcome in Australia's history, and it sends a really clear message to Qantas and to every employer in Australia. Treat your workforce illegally and you will be held accountable.
Ruthless Iga Swiatek won 10 of the last 13 games to beat Elena Rubenka 7-5, 6-3 on Sunday and reach her first Cincinnati Open final after losing in the penultimate stage of the US Open tune-up event in each of the last 2 years. Now, in the other semi-final, Italy's Jasmine Paolini was a 6-3, 6-7, 2-all 6-3 winner over unseeded Russian Veronika Kurdametova. Now, third seed Swiatek had her hands full in the early stages of the 98-minute match, but she took advantage of a sudden dip in Rubenka's form with 4 consecutive games and wrap up the first set before easing through the second as well. Crowds cheered on as engine-less cars raced downhill, flew over jumps, and in some cases also crashed into barriers at the soapbox race held in the Paraguayan town of San Bernardino on Sunday. Now, more than 50 vehicles equipped with roll bars and colorful exteriors sped down the large hill in a spectacle to test even the most daring drivers. While the cars don't have engines, they are fitted with seat belts, brakes, and the drivers, in fact, always must wear their helmets. The cars are unique as the drivers are. Terence Stamp, the British actor who often played the role of a complex villain, including that of General Zod in the early Superman films, has passed away. He was 87 years old. Now, his death on Sunday was disclosed in a death note published online. The London-born Stamp started his film career with 1962's seafaring Billy Budd, for which he earned an Oscar nomination as well. Now, Stamp's 6 decades in the business were peppered with highlights, including his touching portrayal of transsexual Bernadette in 1994's The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Stamp also, in fact, was widely praised for his lead in director Steven Soderbergh's 1999 crime drama, The Limey. That's all we have for you on this Monday edition of The World Report. Take care and have a wonderful day.
Now that retirement is here, it's time for me to focus on the things that really matter in life. The first thing on my list, making sure my loved ones can afford things like funeral costs when I'm no longer around. That's why I'm looking into over 50s life insurance from British Seniors.
Welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance. How can I help?
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000, and the cover is in place for your whole life.
Sounds great.
We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK.
Wow, that's great to hear.
It couldn't be easier to apply. UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted, and you can arrange everything in a matter of minutes. There are no medicals or blood tests. Prices start from just £4.52 a month for £1,000 of cover.
That's less than I thought. That money could help cover my funeral costs or be a gift for my grandson. I'll do it.
As the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance, we're proud to protect thousands of families across the UK. We're rated excellent by Trustpilot and also rated platinum by FIFO.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free life insurance quote today, call our UK team on 0800 977 6391 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Sometimes it's the little things that remind us of them. Stay close, even when you're far apart. Send money worldwide with Remitly.
Fancy a free game? Beat the banker in Tombola's daily free Deal or No Deal game. There's up to £1,000 to be won. Play for free every day.
Babes, how was roaming in Italy?
Oh, stunning. Didn't cost me a penny.
What, the new fella paid?
No, hun. Labara. No roaming fees.
Bet the signal was awful.
Full bars, hun.
Well, you get what you pay for.
Nah. Big mobile networks charge you more for what's really the same thing. You and the hubby need a better package, babe.
Labara, the smarter mobile network.
Think they can sort his package in Turkey?
Because your kid's wizard obsession doesn't work on broken boilers, there's short-term loans from £50 to £1,500 from lendingstream.co.uk.
With Post Office Over 50s life cover, enjoy peace of mind knowing your family will receive a guaranteed payout when you're gone. UK resident 50 to 80, your guaranteed acceptance. No health checks and from just £1.15 a week. Plus free 24/7 GP access with the health and wellbeing benefit. Purchase and receive a £125 gift card for amazon.co.uk, Tesco or M&S. Visit postoffice.co.uk/over 50s.
Air fryer. It fries using air.
Everybody's looking for that something.
Britain, what you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours.
You know how much that means. You found that special thing. Air fryer. You're flying with that wind.
Barclaycard. Make money work for you.
Whatever you need to ask about cancer, Macmillan's free support line is just a call away.
Hello, Macmillan.
Whether it's money...
Am I going to lose my job?
Getting on with life.
Can I still go abroad? Get insurance?
Or just need someone to listen.
How do I tell them?
Our specialist advisors are here to help as often as you need them. Whatever you need to ask, cancer, money, life, call us now on 0808 134 1000.
Oh, wasn't he lovely? That young man at Avanti Travel Insurance.
Yeah, very.
He was so reassuring. They covered all our medical conditions, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Your diabetes, my dodgy hip.
And the rest.
Even at your age, love. Oh. Love?
Oh, great.
Oh, love.
Avanti Travel Insurance cover most pre-existing health conditions for all ages. That's travel reassurance. Save 20% now. Call or go online.
I knew I should have got the flamingo.
From Wongi's New Delhi visit to the Washington huddle. It's a packed Monday here at India Global with me, Arjun, Samar, Mahendran. But first, the headlines. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi to arrive in New Delhi soon as Asian giants move ahead to thaw ties. Another racist attack against Indians in Ireland. A 22-year-old Indian man harassed with racist slurs by Irish teens says did not decide to be born brown. After Alaska's 10-on-10 Putin-Trump meet, Zelensky and European leaders reach Washington to meet Donald Trump. I don't know what Quran he is reading. NYC mayoral race heats up as Eric Adams slams Zoran Mamdani over prostitution stance, questions religious values. And 21-year-old Indian origin girl makes legal history. Krishangi Meshram becomes England and Wales's youngest solicitor in recent times. A top focus this Monday on India Global Viewers. Now, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi is set to arrive in New Delhi for crucial talks with top Indian leaders. He is set to arrive around 4:15 p.m. IST. He'll be taking important meetings with top leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval. Now, this visit marks the 24th round of special representative level talks aimed at resolving